Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Here we are with the new update and a new wallpaper. We have the Majesty of White Dragons wallpaper. This is pretty nice, I have to say. But obviously, we are going to take a look at the new selection pack that has just released here, the Ultimate Sparkle, where we can already see some cards that will be available. Very interesting seeing what else is in there and how the ultra rare distributions are. Basically, we will answer the question, should you invest in this pack or not? And I will also tell you how much of which cards you will need for the decks. We also have some new accessoires here. The Detonated Kuribo is actually pretty cool. The blue eye stuff also pretty nice. So let's take a look at the Ultimate Sparkle. And we first are seeing the animations. Obviously, the Blue Eyes Boss Monster got one. This was to be expected. Very cool. I also like this. We will definitely summon this quite often, even though we're only playing one. Then we have the XYZ tank animation. Oh, this one is also very nice, I have to say. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, I'm not going for this, but obviously you can. And then we have this, I'm not even sure, Divine Golden Shadow, whatever, Dragon Drux Luxion, I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what we are using this for. We have the 7 Tachyon, very interesting card that we will need for Ryziel later on. So if you pull this card, keep this card. This will be very meta relevant later on. And then we have the Duke of Demise, where someone told me this is an impactful card. I'm not sure why this should be the case, but maybe it is. So let's see what we have in the end, how the distributions are. And the interesting, okay, we have Aerial Eater. The interesting question is, do we have the Fiendsmith stuff here? We have the Aerial Eater, and there is the reprint of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which is actually pretty nice. Other than that, honestly, the distribution for Blue Eyes looks as expected, I have to say. So we first have number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. You don't really need this, but with the Tachyon stuff, this obviously makes sense. So we have the reprint of the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which is very nice. I think you want 2 of this in your Blue Eyes deck. At least you could play 3, but you don't need 3, I think. At least you need 1, so it's nice that we have this in here. We have the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon, which I think you should play 1 to 2. Probably 1 is okay, since there are also other targets that we can tag out into, and we will have to see whether a very specific target is also in this pack. Further down below, let's see. We have ABC Dragon Buster reprint. I'm not even sure whether you play this in the XYZ deck. So for the XYZ deck, I have to say that I'm not sure how the ratios are. And then we have the Aerial Eater, which this is nice. The Aerial Eater you can make with your Fiendsmith's Lacrimosa. You need 2 fiend monsters with the same attribute. This was very important and usable, because if this card is fusion summoned, you can send 1 fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. The thing is, though, that this basically does the same thing as Beatrice at the moment. So at the moment we don't really need it, but if Beatrice gets hit, then you will play the Aerial Eater in your Fiend deck, or for example also in your Memento deck, to send the Fiends to the graveyard. But as I already said, for now you can also just do it with the Beatrice. So at the moment we don't need the Aerial Eater, but if you pull an Aerial Eater, I would suggest keeping one. There will be a more impactful card in the future, the Necrocure Princess, that is more important for the whole Fiendsmith stuff here. But if you get one, keep it. Then we have a Schwarzschild Infinity Dragon. So this is German, Schwarzschild. I don't know what this card is. If you control no monsters or your opponent controls a monster with 2 or more attack, special summon this card from hand. If you do special summon level light or dark dragon monster from your deck, you can summon Blue Eyes with this. But spoiler alert, you don't play this in Blue Eyes, so I guess you can decraft this. Maiden of White, you definitely want 3 Maiden of Whites, same as with the Wishes for Eyes of Blue. I was expecting Wishes and Maiden to be the ultra rares, and then this Spirit Dragon, obviously. I have to say, this is not that expensive. We just need 3 of this, 3 of this, then 1 of this, and then you need 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. This card you could already have. This is not a new card. 7 Tachyon. If you draw it, once again, I would keep it for the future, especially if you want to play a Ryziel in the future. This depends a bit on what happens with Bonfire, because this basically replaces Bonfire. We can reveal 1 number XYZ monster in our extra deck that has a number between 101 and 107. So the 107 is also the new one here. I think this is a reprint, honestly. We can also use this with the 7 Tachyon, and then we can add 1 monster from our deck to our hand with the same type or attribute as that monster and the same level as that monster, and then place 1 card from our hand on top of the deck, and then we are XYZ summoned or XYZ locked here. So this can, as well as Bonfire, search our Ryziel starters. This is why we want to play this, especially if Bonfire gets hit, which is definitely something to be expected. We have it at 2 at the moment, probably will be at 1 in the future. We have Union activations and 1 Light Machine monster, normal monster, or Union monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard and add 1 light machine monster with the same attack but a different original name from your deck to your hand. Okay, interesting here. So a searcher for, I guess you send these C and B monsters here and then get the other ones. Interesting. Then we have Wishes for Eyes of Blue. You definitely want 3 of this in your Blue Eyes deck. This is super strong. If you have Bingo Machine Go, which is an ultra rare, not from the spec unfortunately, you could also play Bingo Machine Go and then have 6 copies of the Wishes for Eyes of Blue basically. And then we can also click on newly added cards, because these are the more interesting ones. You can see Spirit, where you need 2 of, and then we have the Blue Eyes Indigo Dragon. You can definitely play this if you make this with 2 level 8 Dragon monsters on summon. Oh no, it's not on summon, it's an ignition effect. You can detach an XYZ card, I think, and material from this card and then target 1 normal monster. No, this is not the effect. It is on summon, right? If this card is XYZ summoned, you can negate effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. So this can be very strong in breaking through the opponent's board. And then we can see the new Union cards, your Union controller, and the new Tachyon cards. And very interested in seeing whether or what else will be in here with the super rares. You can see more of the Union cards here. We have Earthbound Immortal, Red Nova. I think it's also a very new card. Good for the Earthbound archetype, but we don't really need it. We don't really play it. Then you can see here is the Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons. So 1 to 2 times you need this card to special summon your Blue Eyes from the deck, graveyard, or banishment. Can be very important to summon it from the banishment. And then we can see some reprints here, Tachyon Galaxy, some more Tachyon cards. Further down below we have 3 new cards, the Union Pilot, also another XYZ Tachyon card. And these probably are the most important new prints that we have gotten here. There's a Neo Kaiser Seer, so you can definitely play this, especially in a pure variant. This is a good starter, since if this card is sent to the graveyard and you can make the new Link 1 with this. By the way, if you don't know how to play the new Blue Eyes deck, I have a guide for that up on the channel. It is linked in the top right corner. You can go check that out. But yeah, this is nice because this can send your Maiden of White to the graveyard and she places the True Light, one of the most important cards in this deck. Then further down below we can see we have reprints of the gadgets. Okay, these were recently, we could play them in the event with the 2004 ban list, and then you can see there are only more reprints down here and a few new cards, but nothing too impactful. Detonated Koribo is a card. Interesting. If a Koribo monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. Yay! When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can equip this card you control to that monster, and the equipped monster's effects are negated. Interesting. Obviously you don't play this. We have an enemy controller. This fits with the theme of this pack here because we have this Union controller in here. And yeah, these seems to be all the new cards. Unfortunately, no new, we have the trap, obviously, you only need 1 of this. No new Fiendsmith cards here, a bit unfortunate, and we also didn't get the Light Storm Dragon, which would have been very great in Blue Eyes. But it is what it is, definitely a weaker pack. Should you invest in this pack? To clarify this question, I think if you want to go for the Blue Eyes stuff, as I will do, it makes sense, especially if you don't have the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, because then you have 4 cards that you need out of this pack and that you could pull. Also, if you want to play Ryzer in the future, you can draw a 7 Tachyon, you can draw an Aerial Eater, and also if you want the XYZ stuff, I guess for the XYZ stuff, you could also just craft the cards that you need, and for the Tachyon stuff or the 7 Galaxy stuff, the number stuff, you can also probably just craft. So I think for Blue Eyes, it is worth pulling from this pack. If you're not interested in any of these archetypes here specifically, you can definitely skip this pack. This is definitely a skip pack in general, I would say. The most interesting archetype is Blue Eyes. It will be quite strong at the beginning, and it will be even stronger when we get the Primate stuff, which Dkayed hinted at that we will get this quite soon. So this is a good investment in the future. This is a very cool control deck. I'm super into it. I've played this a lot online with the Primate engine. I am investing in it in the TCG right now. I really love the deck. I think it's super fun. Will be even more fun with the Primate stuff. But yeah, for Blue Eyes, definitely invest in this pack, especially if you don't have the Spirit Dragon. Other than that, you might just want to craft what you are missing and then save your gems for the next more impactful pack. That will probably be the next one, I would guess. But now let me know in the comments what you think of this. Will you invest in this? What archetype will you go for? Let me know. I'm very interested. Obviously, we will stream live later on. Hopefully, we will see each other there. And if you like my videos, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell. And guys, we see each other in the next one.